Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's program. My name is Yapi, and I'm the host for tonight's program. I hope everyone is fine and safe. Avoid going out or roaming around. Always remember to wash your hands and avoid touching your face. And most importantly, stay at home. These broadcasts are brought to you by our fellow JPO members and some of the world's greatest musicians that wishes to share their knowledge and help aspiring musicians through their musical journey. We are also providing opportunities for everyone with different interests to learn not performance, but transferable life skills. We are doing this series of program because JPO think this will be able to help in uplifting the spirit of everyone in this long period of lockdown. So if you have any questions to ask, please don't be shy and type them down in the Q&A below. And for YouTube viewers, you can type them in the live chat. Today, JPO are indeed very honored to be able to invite Thomas Ling as our special guest for tonight, with his topic being a musician and a music teacher. Thomas was passionate about music since young. His love for music and a firm belief that music was his calling had resulted in him getting a place in the esteemed Sydney Conservatorium of Music in the 80s, majoring in piano performing. Believing that he has more to give back in Malaysia, he came home after graduation and started Thomas Music Studio. After having taught a few years, he was the first to be selected from among the music teachers in Sarawak via audition by the ABRSM in conjunction with their 100th year celebration in 1989. He had performed in numerous concerts as soloist and accompanist throughout Sarawak, KK, and Brunei. He is always keen to promote the performing art and had organized numerous recitals and concerts for local as well as overseas artists. Also, he followed Yap Ling to various recitals as his accompanist. Though trained as a classical musician, he is deeply interested in jazz music and different genres of music. He also likes spending his spare time composing, watching movies, and used to be an avid video game player. Thomas is married with two sons, one of which is following the father's footsteps in music and is currently running the Barak Music Showroom around 6 years ago, and another son with autism. Because of that, he had founded the Cebu Autistic Association together with a few passionate friends. He was also president of Swan City Toastmaster Club from 2011 to 2012, and together with the effort of the whole club, had achieved president's distinguished club status for Swan City Toastmasters Club in Cebu. So let us welcome Mr. Thomas Ling.
Thank you, Yapi, for
Hello,
that love.
hello, Mr. Thomas. It's a pleasure
I
to have you in our program today.
Yes, it's my pleasure to thank you for asking me, and I'll be happy to contribute in whatever I can to help to advance the cause of music.
Yes, okay. So we shall start with a few questions. So with our first question right now being, can you share about the video that we have watched just now? Like,
Okay,
what song
the,
are they?
the video, the first piece was an improvisation based on three notes given to me by a friend. We used to play this game. They give me some notes, I create a piece for them on the spot. So that was
Wow.
just for fun. And I believe if you can improvise, you can compose. The second one is something I did many years ago, but I revised it recently. I combined the Bach's Toccata and Prelude, Toccata in D minor with James Bond's accompaniment and theme. So it was just for fun. And the last lot is from a set of pieces. I call it 4 seasons for piano fantasy: summer, autumn, winter, and spring. I put spring at the last to symbolize hope. Usually people put winter at the end because, as you know, the saying, winter is coming. No, for me,
Yes.
spring is coming. Okay, you know my drift. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are you a musician, and what makes you want to become a musician?
Okay. The short answer is not. There's nothing better to do. No, I'm kidding. Okay. I think music has always been my passion for some curious reason. Music speaks to me in a very deep way. I feel music very strongly. So since young, I had aspired to be a musician and to be at least a person who is educated in music. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, in your opinion, why should anyone learn music, and what's the ultimate purpose of learning music?
That's always a very good question because that's the question every parents need to ask before they send their children to start to learn music. The answer is, why learn anything? Why do you learn maths? Why do you learn geography? Some people say, I don't need to know geography. I hop on a plane, I get to wherever I want to go. Why learn history? I think it's part of being educated as a person. Music is a beautiful thing. It's a universal language. No matter who you are, from which country, you play some happy sound, they will recognize it as happy music. All right. It's just a language, but it cannot be fully described with words. So music itself it has intrinsic value for us to appreciate, to learn, and to understand. Yeah. So why learn music? Because it's a good thing. Music is good. That's why we learn music. Thank you.
Okay. So, you talk about how did you discover music?
How did I discover music? All
Yes.
right.
What lit the fire in you? Like, oh wow, this is where I should be pursuing. Like, this is what I should be
Okay.
pursuing.
All right. I first of all I read about composers when I was young. I read books about composers and I was very inspired. And also my my family bought a piano for my elder sister. So I secretly learned by myself. I draw 1, 2, 3 on the keyboard, do re mi fa sol la ti do with a pencil. And when anybody comes home, I quickly rub it off because they might scold me. So, and my sister gave up. I took over to my
Wow.
demand. Yeah. So we had very few teachers then. So I had many teachers coming and going when I was young. Yeah. But the passion never died. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, okay. So I know you have been posting your compositions and arrangements in social media. How many pieces have you composed, and is there a financial gain to it?
Okay. How many pieces have I composed? Actually, I don't know, but my guess is around 100, a few hundred pages, including arrangement. But my student asked me the question, teacher, any money to be made, composing this? Why do I do it? I think, Sir Edmund Hillary was asked the same thing. Why did you climb the Mount Everest? His answer was, because it's there.
Ah,
So this is a very strange answer. Because this is just me. I'm a musician. It's my thing to create music. Whether it can result in monetary gain or not, that is secondary. Because after I wrote the piece, the satisfaction is great. Yeah. I look at it like I'm marrying a piece of art, a painting, but it's in musical notes. So is there something to be gained? Actually, I post some of my music on the Sheet Music Plus platform, and I'm quite regularly getting uh, commission for the sales. Yeah, it's not big money, but it's something that you do it once and you don't have to do it again. And slowly the money flows in little bit by little bit. So the quick answer is no, I don't make a lot of money, but I do it for the satisfaction as a musician.
so is there a piece is there a composition or an arrangement that you are most satisfied with? Like
That's a good question.
like the most
Okay,
memorable arrangement?
all right. My composition and arrangement drastically changed after I did this. I studied Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto with orchestra score, and I tried to simplify it for a piano solo for the whole of first movement. It took me many, many days. I spent, I think, many, many hours. But after I went through that, then all my other arrangement for even pop music has changed. It's no more just broken chords, you know. It's running notes and chromatic harmonies. It's just something I learned so much. After Rachmaninoff, I did the Greek. I also learned a lot from copying, from trying to synthesize the music to simplify it so that I still keep the spirit and the flavor, but at a much easier and much more approachable for average pianists. So that has affected me a lot. I would say the Rachmaninoff concerto that I arranged is my most satisfactory work. It's quite different from the piano part, but the harmonies are all there.
Wow. So among all the like among all the compositions, like the one you are most proud of, do you because I believe they are statistics or analysis of the sales for your compositions. So for your is your proudest composition your most sold or most
Yes,
viewed? Oh,
yes.
wow.
The biggest sales comes from the Rachmaninoff concerto for piano solo. A lot of buyers from America. Yeah.
Wow, wow,
Mm.
wow.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So
I
can you
think,
share oh, okay, sorry,
yes.
sorry. You can
You go
speak
on, go
first.
on, go on. Yeah.
So can you share something about composing?
Yes. Composing is fun. You know, after John Cage, 4 minutes 33 seconds, if you're familiar with the
Oh,
piece,
yes, 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 yes.
everyone composes. All you need to do is give a time. 1 minute 33 seconds. All right, I'm kidding. Half. You see, composition is always an integral part of any theory syllabus. Agree with me? From grade 4, grade 5, there's a simple way of uh, teaching you composition. I think composition is a necessary part of music education
Yes, yes.
because ultimately we need to promote the new music. We need to discover new people. So the whole exercise of the music industry, music teaching, so that we can discover some maybe artists in the sense of performance or as a composer, you know, because what would the world be without music?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hear. You need to have new music all the time. Yeah, I think that is a very the Western thinking about music is you must create something new, create something different. Whereas the Oriental thinking is you must preserve the tradition. So the Chinese music hasn't changed very much. I think it's still quite the same as a few hundred years ago. But Western music had digressed so much that we just need to develop, and it's fun. It's really fun to do, and it's completely teachable.
So what got you into composing? Because at first you were learning performing piano, right?
Yes, actually, we had electives on composition, and I'm always keen to compose because what got me to compose? Actually, I composed most during the 1990s. Okay, and then I stopped for many years. I just play, and then in the last 5 to 6 years, I started picking up composing again because I teach less. I have more time to do it now. It's not by choice that I teach less. It just happens to be so. Yeah. So, and I get a lot of fun. Also, because I learned so much during the time of teaching. You see, I learned a lot from teaching, from actually also from listening. So all this learning I've gathered, it encouraged me to compose because I can compose much better now than 20 years ago.
Wow.
So, but I'm not a great composer, but it doesn't matter. I just enjoy it. Okay. Some people enjoy it. In fact, I am in a composers group. and I got quite good comment from other composers. So some very delightful comment. So it's a very encouraging.
Wow. So
Nothing great,
which
but yeah.
yeah. So I like to ask, so do you think um which one would you be more favorable to, if I would say, like,
Among
would
my
you
pieces, is it?
no, I mean like between
Okay.
piano and between composing.
Oh, I see. Okay. Now, I usually compose something I can play.
Oh.
So when I usually put them into records. I record them, and sometimes it takes me several takes because I don't edit
Oh,
once through. So if I make a mistake, I do the whole thing all over again. So that's also a good practice for me. So I would say I enjoy playing, but now I seem to enjoy composing more and more. Yeah, yeah.
so you talked about you normally compose what you can play. So have you ever composed anything that you cannot play?
Okay, I have composed something that I cannot sight read properly. Let me put it this way: cannot sight, because when I compose, I want some. The level of people I expect to play them is early advanced, intermediate, early advanced, or at least grade 6, grade 7 level. Usually, I compose the most stuff for this range, from grade 6 to grade 8 level of playing. But then you can't really grade a piece. You can
Yes,
only
yes, yes.
grade the performance, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
I realize a lot of my pieces are not easily read by most students. It's a bit of a struggle. But what can I do? I can't do anything else. Yeah. So yeah. But I also enjoy watching movie. So less work.
Wow. So have you ever composed pieces other how do I say, compose for other instruments, not only piano?
Yes, I have actually. Usually, after I compose a piano piece, I would split them. I would rearrange them for two violins and a piano, or a flute, violin, cello, and the piano. I do that for a few pieces, uh, but I don't
Wow.
start out to think of an instrument. So my composition mainly for piano, and with occasional arrangement for other strings, other instruments. Yeah.
Wow. So I'm curious, do you have a plan to compose a big piece for a
Yes.
full orchestra?
Yes, I do have that. Always in my dream, I want to compose a full orchestral piece, but it is I probably need to go for orchestration classes first, and yeah. But I will eventually do that. It's my dream to actually compose for movies. Nobody has employed me yet.
Oh yeah, I'd like to ask, the the virtual background behind you, is that one
Oh,
of your composition, or it's
no,
just
no, that's not. It's a random choice. Random choice. That's not. I I I don't compose this sort of music because it's just how many people can actually play them,
Yeah.
And I want to compose something that is not too difficult for the ears, but interesting enough. Yeah,
Oh, it's more friendly.
yeah. I only compose a
Oh,
few sort of atonal music, so to speak. But in all the atonal music, I always have some tonal element in it, so to speak. Yeah,
wow.
can't
Okay,
get
okay.
away from that. Yeah.
So, what is your opinion of good and bad music?
Okay, this is we had this debate in a composers group. Some people saying think there's no such thing as bad music. It's just personal taste. But I would like to just ask: is there such thing as good food and bad food? Yes or no? A good car and a
Ye-
not so good car. So
Yes.
it's the same in music. You have good music and bad music. So who is to say this is bad music or this is good music? Okay. So who is more qualified to say this is a good car or lousy car? The mechanic, the one who knows more about car,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes, yes.
So the one who knows more and spend more time in music, they would I think, have a bigger say in what is good music, what is bad music. I think it is very fair. Just like I say, with regards to food, I like curry. I had the idea there's no bad curry, no matter what Indian curry, Chinese curry. There is no bad curry. But you know what? One day I discovered there are bad cooks. They can't even cook curry well. So I was wrong. There are no bad curries, there are bad cook.
Oh, okay, I understand.
So in music, I think in all genres of music, you see this piece of music, it could be a very good pop music. But if you're in a person with a classical training, this is very cheap music because it repeats the four chords like 10, 20
Yes.
times.
Yes, yes,
And
yes, yes.
there's hundreds of songs with the same harmony, with the same chord progression. For me, it's not good or bad. It's just boring. When it sounded boring, it's bad. But it may sound good to another person. So I'm not going to tell that person, I think you're listening to bad music. I'll just keep the opinion to myself. I think that's bad music, but I won't tell the person you are listening to bad music. Okay, fair enough.
Yes, yes, yes. So, in classical music wise, so have you ever heard of anything that you think, oh, it just doesn't sound right?
Uh, Actually, usually for classical music, they have stood the test of time, and those bad classical music, they were lost, they were faded. Okay, I'm not talking about Bach, like the great music of Bach. Some of are lost because it was just not kept. He was just too poor. But no, I rarely heard. But I would say there are some music I cannot understand, like Stockhausen, Pierre Boulez. I just cannot understand. Because you got to understand that composers thinking and rational, then you can appreciate the music. But you don't appreciate the music in the sense of the sound you receive. Like who appreciate 4 minutes 33 seconds? It's a
Yeah.
random sound. I mean, how can you appreciate that unless you appreciate the composer's idea? Everything is music. Everything that happens accidentally. So that's that's the idea. You see, we are listening to an idea, not to a sound. So there are music
Wow.
I don't like. Usually, atonal music. Uh, some I do like. Yeah, but with
Wow.
regards to the earlier era, there's nothing I think that doesn't make sense. But I must say that I don't appreciate Bartok, although he's quite famous. I just don't get Bartok. I don't enjoy Bartok. But he said something very, very wise. Bartok said, competitions are for horses, not for musicians. That's quite something, right?
Yes, yes,
Because
yes,
every
yes, yes.
musician, it has strength in different area. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. All right.
Wow. Okay, okay. Wow, that's amazing. So, what do you consider to be your greatest achievement? And then, hold on. Before you answer that question, I'd like to remind all the attendees and the viewers, if you have any questions to ask, please don't be shy about it. Just type them in the Q&A or in the live chat if you're in from YouTube. So, okay, Mr. Thomas, what do you consider to be your greatest achievement?
Okay. My greatest achievement is not the what I achieve in the sense of what the level I attain. But as a music teacher, I feel my greatest achievement is I managed to convince some students who really hated music, and then they become musicians, professional musicians.
Wow.
And they entered to be musicians. They are in Taiwan, they are in Australia, and they are in America. And I convinced them music is beautiful. And some in Kuching, they hated music before they came to me, and then they took up music as a career. So I consider that to be my greatest achievement. I managed to inspire some, that music is worthy pursuit.
Is there a way like how you pursue or how you approach and inspire them? Is there like a general way like how you plan to like show
No,
them like what is music?
I, I think it's very hard to plan to inspire. To inspire a pupil, you need to be passionate yourself. Because if the teachers are not passionate, are not keen, are not still learning, you can't inspire your student. No, there's no method, I believe, to inspire. But I think they can tell from our attitude, from our speaking, how we value music.
Yes,
So of
yes,
course
yes.
there are the technical part, but I think one thing that we lack here is we attended too few concerts, live concerts. The greatest inspiration I got when I was young is the live concerts. You'll be surprised. That was 40 years ago. You know, a Kuching person, Tan Sang Ling. I think your dad know him. He was working in RTM. He organized concert. He invite pianists, violin, guitarists to come to Cebu and perform. I never missed any one of them, even if the next day is examination, school examination. Can you believe Julian Bring has come to Cebu 3 times? Julian Bring, the great classical guitar, world famous. He has come to Cebu 3 times. Yeah. So it's attending this concert that helped to inspire people. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Then at that time, like you mentioned, even if tomorrow was exam, then how
Yeah.
did your parents react to it? Like, were they just okay? Okay, like,
No problem. My parents basically just
were they fine with it? Oh
yeah, they were
wow.
fine with it. They just a lot of people objected to me studying music when I in my days. What are you going to do when you come back? You know, what are you going to do? I didn't care what I was going to do. That's what I want to do. It doesn't matter how I'm going to make a living out of it. But I mean, we only have one life, right? Only one life to do what you really love.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. But then, were there any like very professional pianists like to perform there?
I
To
won't
go
say
to
there are
Cebu at your time?
world class
Like, were there any
pianists to
pianists?
perform. Yeah, we had Lo Bang Hian there a few times. He's great. And of course, we have Ling, who often perform, and he's an inspiration too. Um, Nowadays, it's so
Wow.
easy.
Okay.
You know, when
Okay.
yeah, just watch. Nowadays, we have YouTubes of, if you know what to look, that's a great source of learning.
Okay. So I just now while you were showing, I saw one of them were like a performance of Love Run, if I see correctly.
Yes.
Love Run.
Yeah,
Am I lagging? I'm not sure because
a little bit, but it's okay.
the
I can hear
camera
you
here is
properly.
quite laggy.
Yeah, yeah, it's all right.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, yes.
It was about
The
a picture of Love Run. Yeah.
yes, I the Love Run was organized in aid of the Autistic Association that we set up, and we did a theme song. I did a theme song for that, and it was quite. And we had 3,000 over 3,000 participants, so it was quite a big success. And many people had hundreds of volunteers came in to help. We managed to raise almost 200,000 for our association. 200,000. Yeah.
Wow.
Because that was a time when we nearly went bankrupt. We did not have enough fund to pay the teachers. But that sort of helped us tie over this difficult period. So that was about a few years ago. Yeah, 6-7 years ago. No,
Okay.
6 years, 5-6 years.
Then is it well, because it was around 6 years when
5 years, I
Barack.
think. 5 years. Yeah, 5 years.
Okay. So it is after the Barack showroom, right?
Yes. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Hold
Actually, the
on.
Barak showroom was actually an extension of Thomas Music Studio, where I used to teach and sell instruments. Because the government came with 6% GST, so I had to split my teaching with my sales, because otherwise I got to charge my students GST, which I didn't want. So I
Right.
move out the sales part and I let my son handle it, so I don't have to charge my students GST, extra burden for them. Yeah,
Wow,
that's
that's
that was
very kind of you.
uh,
Wow. Okay.
that.
And then I also saw another pic. I'm not sure is it a random pic, but like it was like you were taking photos with uh people in shopping mall, I believe. Yes, this one. So
Oh,
what is it
that
about?
was we were doing a road show, and that was promotion of my piano album just for fun, which I did 20 years ago, and I did it for fun, and then I left it there. I forgot about it, so I discovered there's still a few thousand copies. So I took it out, and yeah, that was my first album. But nowadays I'm doing more sort of ebook, digital book.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So how many albums have you put out?
The physical published just one, but I am collecting all my composition to come up with an ebook. Actually, I was going to sell it in 8 of our association's new building project, because at the
Wow.
moment we cannot accommodate any new pupil. So we're going to
Oh,
build a
okay.
place that can accommodate a lot more children. That's my dream, my next step. So we have a 3.7 million project going on, starting.
Wow, wow,
So
wow, that's amazing.
yeah.
Okay, so before moving on to the Q&A section,
Mm.
we still have one more question. And before that
Okay.
question, I would like to inform the attendees again, just a gentle reminder. Uh, if you have any questions to ask, or if you're curious about anything, Mr. Thomas here will answer you about, be it composing, be it performing, just feel free to ask. Right. Okay, so what, Mr. Thomas, what do you think of JPO and the activities that we are currently having, like we're running right now?
I think JPO is really doing a great service to the society. Especially, I'm very impressed with the outreach program, because a lot of children, this group of children, do not have access or unable to have music lessons or music education, and you're giving them a great chance, and that's very admirable. In fact, in our current school system, many children didn't do, even though they can afford it, but they don't even have the time to know whether they have talent in this or gift in music or art or something, But these children, you're giving them a chance to
Yes, yes,
expose
yes.
them. That's great. I applaud JPL for this project, and also for the interviews. I think that's great. And also the upcoming, if you are planning on the exam board, I think that's a great thing to make examinations fee accessible, and because it's most exam board are quite expensive, quite so that's something worth looking into. Yeah, good job,
Wow, okay.
very good job.
Wow. Thank you for your kind words, Mr. Thomas. Okay, and now we will move on to the Q&A section with our first question being, Hi Thomas, I love your piano arrangement with variety. May I know where you get your inspiration to do all that?
Okay, that's a good question. There's a saying that composition is like a leap in the dark. You don't know where you're going to land. Very often, I come up with just a phrase, a chord progression that needs to be resolved. So more and more progression come in, and then you use sequence, inversion, and changing the mode and the modulations. Then you can try to try to bring in new elements. You must have contrast, you must have unity. Okay, these two elements are very important. So it's not like I'm zapped with the electricity, and then I sometimes it's just deliberate, sit down and just work on the piano, fiddle around, and the phrase came out. Once you have a good phrase, a motif, you have a whole piece. For example, I have a piece called Do Ti So La. Actually, it's based on 4 notes. Do Ti So La. It appears 13 times in the whole short piece, in different keys, with different accompaniment and different chords. Because actually, I was going to do a talk about composition, but that's going to be very long. So I changed my topic. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So have you ever, like, when you go to a cafe drinking a coffee, or maybe just walking around the beach, and then suddenly an idea came out, and then you're like, oh, then how
Somebody,
would you like? How do you remember the idea? And we go home, and then how do you like work on it?
thank God for smartphone. Sometimes I just sing into it, sing the tune into it,
But
or yeah, with
how
the
about
audio
before?
recorder. Huh?
How about before?
Before,
Like way before, without all
you
these
know, a
things.
composer once said, if I had penned down every idea I had, I would have 100 symphonies. You know what he's saying actually? Because we don't write down our ideas, a lot of
Yeah.
ideas are just lost. Sometimes I managed, now I've learned to use software called notation software, which is very useful to write down ideas. So I'll just write 4 bars of music and I leave it there. And sometimes a few months later, I come back to it and develop on it. So I just write some idea and put it there and leave it there. And sometimes it come back and yeah. So it could be deliberate, it could be on the spur, sometimes in the middle of the night. In fact, the James Bond, the 007 Bach was conceived at midnight. Suddenly, I have these 2 sounds coming in my head. Da, 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 the James Bond thing, and then
Yes,
da, da,
yes, yes.
da, 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 da. It just, it seems to fit. And then I tried it, and it fit. You know? And I did the same with the Mozart and Beethoven, but unfinished. You know, da 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 da. I try to combine it with bum 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 bum. It's halfway.
Wow. Wow. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
see, composing is fun.
Yeah.
Everyone who learns music should learn to compose.
Yes. Okay, so moving on to the next question.
Yes.
Hi, would you say your arrangements are more a result of your improvisation?
Okay. My original pieces, are more a result of my improvisation. The arrangement are not. I cannot improvise the tune because I have to borrow the tune, but my arrangement is very much affected by my learning from Rachmaninoff's harmony. So I would have very intricate harmonies for a very simple tune, like "Love Me Tender, Love Me Sweet," and I think that one got sold quite many copies. So, but of course, there's always an element of improvisation. If you can improvise, you can compose. You just need to learn to notate down what you have in your mind. You see, the Beatles don't know how to notate. They just sing into a tape and they play the guitar and somebody can notate for them. That's also a way collaboration.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, and then now we'll move on to the next question. I noticed that you also accompany a lot. Would you like to share with us your view as a soloist and as an accompanist? How do you feel differently taking the different roles?
Uh, of course, as a soloist, it's more nerve-wracking because there's no one with you. And as a company, you are making music with somebody. For me, that's more exciting because to be a soloist, you need to spend hours. You need to spend hours to practice in order to be able to play the solo really well. So I don't have that kind of time unless I'm So I like accompanying people. I learned a lot when accompanying Ling, and I was when he was still single. Yeah, and your mom took over. So I learned a lot from accompanying others. Yeah.
Well then, before accompanying my father, and then before being an accompanist, are you a soloist? Like as a like
In my
full
in
soloist,
my
or
in the conservatorium, my training is to be a solo pianist. Of course, we had to spend it. We had to spend hours just to put up a performance, and that was the toughest part. Is to give a recital as a soloist, always as a soloist. But we also have training in chamber music, and we accompany other students who are violinists and so on. So I think it goes hand in hand. Nobody can be just a soloist or just an. But some people make a comfortable living just accompanying overseas,
yes,
overseas. Yeah.
yes. So I'd like to know like the transition between the transition of you going to accompany someone when you have never accompanied before. How would I
Oh,
say this? Like when
okay.
you just started as an accompanist, like was it really hard to adjust to adapt to being an accompanist?
It wasn't for me because okay,
Oh,
I'm not going to take uh be very boastful, but I'm quite good at sight reading. So that really helps because I sight read a lot of music. I'm sight reading every day since my younger days. I tend to go through a lot of music, but I don't sort of focus in one piece for months and months. So I usually so as a result, I being able to sight read fast is a very important component of to accompany somebody. Yeah, yeah, and also the
wow.
understanding
So will you
of
say
mm,
uh,
yeah
yes, you can speak first.
uh,
I'm a bit
about
laggy here.
yeah, understanding of harmony is also crucial. I think the greatest thing in Western music is harmony, the harmony aspect, because the harmony is the essence of the emotional content of the piece. The harmony gives us understanding how
Yes,
the
yes.
music is moving. Because I think every most beautiful melodies are conceived with the harmonically as well. It's you don't sort of write a
Yeah,
melody
yeah, yeah.
without thinking of the harmony. So I I was quite
Mm.
good with my harmony learning when I was younger. I had a very solid training with a guitar teacher in Cebu, David Wong, who taught me until grade 8 theory. So I had a very good training in first year harmony. We used the book First Year Harmony. So that and then when I was in when I was in the conservatorium, and that was my strength. So yeah,
Wow,
when
okay.
I look at a
Will you
piece,
say your
yeah,
composition will you
yes,
say your composition helped you a lot in being an accompanist?
of course. I think everything is synergized together, because I'm able to compose because I played a lot of music. I've accompanied a lot of music, and I sideways a lot of music. So music is like it work on your subconscious mind, uh, and it come out when you write music. Because if you haven't sideways a lot, if you haven't listened to a lot of music, you can't really compose. You must be able to. You must hear music a lot, and it becomes a language to you.
Yes, yes, yes. Wow, okay, okay. So moving on to the next question. Which would you say is more challenging? Teaching, composing, or performing?
Of course, performing is the most challenging because you play on the spot. That's why live music is most exciting because anything can happen on the spot. Whereas we do a recording, when I compose, nobody is pressuring me. I don't have to finish a composition within a certain time, right? I take my time. But when you are performing, you're expected
Yeah.
to know the music really well, and you have, of course, this more challenging is performing. You need to have a lot of time to practice in order to perform really well. Yeah. So teaching
Yes, yes,
is
yes.
also very challenging. Teaching is challenging because I think I'm always struggle with lack of time for students to practice, and therefore there's a lot of things I cannot teach when they are still struggling with notation, time value. If you don't get this right, I can't talk about the other stuff. Like for example, I can't talk about the phrasing or the flow of the music, the harmony. It's a lot of things to teach in a piece of music. If you haven't done the basic, that's my hardest challenge to get through the basics with a student.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Wow, okay, okay. And then moving on to the other question. So, hi, what genre would you say are most of your compositions?
Okay. tonal music with a romantic bias. I mean, with a romantic harmony, and moving slowly into something more atonal with more dissonance, like the recent composition of entitled 2020 to describe the strange year 2020. And also I wrote a piece on based on the painting of Van Gogh, the Starry Night. So I tried to paint a picture with a tone. So I quite like that piece of mine, although it's very short. It's very short. Most of my pieces are the most 4 pages. Okay, a lot of 2 pages, 2 to 4 pages, except for the Four Seasons, which is about 20 pages. Yeah.
Okay, so what is your long, like you said most of them are around 4 pages, but then what is the longest, like the most pages?
The set of pieces I call Four Seasons is actually composed of 4 pieces, but it's about 20 pages. Yeah. Because I think the concentration span of modern day people is also short. I think music doesn't have to be long. There's a lot of long pieces with lengthy, you have Beethoven's symphony. That's 30, 40 minutes long. I mean, very few people have that time to sit down and go through a symphony. But just to have fun with a few pages, everybody can afford that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, Mr. Thomas, would you like to share with us what is your next big musical project? And do you see the pandemic and the lockdown as obstacles to what you normally do?
The pandemic does not affect. It actually gives me a lot of time to compose. That's why in the last year I produced a lot of music. But then just a livelihood a bit affected by it. Our school can't sort of go, hardly any teaching going on. So that's it. But that's why we all, as a musician, sometimes I say, you don't just try to depend on music as a livelihood.
Yes.
Music, it can be your passion, is your livelihood, but it doesn't have to be your sole income. So as musicians, we need to be sometimes more flexible. I think you can actually earn money other ways to support our music passions. Okay, right? You don't have to earn money from music in order to pursue a musical passion. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. So is there do you have a big musical project coming soon, or you planning right now?
Not in the sense of a performance, but I'm compiling a book of my music for charity purposes. So, and I hope to do a complete recording of all the pieces and to make it available. Yeah. At the moment, it's not complete, and I'm not quite happy with a lot of the playing I post online. It was just half side reading, but I must I need to practice to make it perfect. Yeah. So that's probably what is in my mind.
Wow. Okay. So so moving on to the next question. Hi. What you were saying is improvisation doesn't confine to jazz only. Am I right? I'm not very sure on this. Could you explain?
Sorry, come again. Improvisation is not confined to
jazz only. So what you were saying is improvisation doesn't confine to jazz only.
No, of course not. Definitely not. Jazz does not have the monopoly to improvise. When Beethoven and Mozart improvised, you get a sonata. And when Chopin tried to compose a sonata, it sounded like an improvisation. What I mean is, no, you can teach improvisation from the beginning. Just wait. That's what I teach my class. I give them 5 notes, C, D, E, F, G. and I give them the time value. Just ask them to play da da dee da 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 da. Next line. Answer da da dee da 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 da. That's very simple improvisation, right? And I design a scale. Do mi fa so ti. Okay, write a piece just using this note. This sounds like a gamelan thing. Da dee da da dee da. Do C E F G B. Okay, use these few notes. And when they write it, when they present it to me, I'll put the accompaniment of mine in, and it sounded quite great. So it was an encouragement to compose. No, but jazz, of course, the thing about jazz is that their biggest element is the element of improvisation, and that's a great discipline as well. You know, they had to learn a lot more scales than the classical musician. There's a lot more scales, Missolidian, blues scales, Dorian, all kinds of modes they have to learn. So yeah, so jazz is a great source of learning. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. There seems to be some technical issues, so
okay, it's
my
all right.
camera does not seem to be working. Yes. Okay. Then I think we'll just go through with this. I'm terribly sorry that had some technical issues here. So
All right.
for now, I will not be able to show myself. So
Okay, it's all right.
yes, and then okay, the time is nearly up. So we are coming to the end of this interview. Okay, on behalf of JPO, we'd like to thank you, Mr. Thomas, for dedicating your time and energy into this interview, despite
It's my
the
pleasure,
pandemic.
completely. My pleasure. Yeah.
Yes. And also, we would like to thank everyone who has attended and supported this program. You guys have been great. So I hope you guys got the answers you wanted. And for those who are still waiting for answers, please stay as Mr. Thomas will answer your questions through the Q&A below later. And don't forget, check for our link at our JPO Facebook page and stay tuned. For anyone interested to share any of our program with your family and friends, it will be on our Facebook page, Jesselton Philharmonic Orchestra. And now, Mr. Thomas will lead the prayer to end tonight's program. Please pray in
Yes.
whatever faith you believe in for the COVID-19.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Heavenly Father, our God in heaven, and we thank you for your goodness to us, for your gifts to all mankind, for the gift of music, so we can enjoy this beautiful gift, and so we can wonder at your creation and at something beautiful and true. In this tough time, we want to give you thanks for the common grace to us, for water, for food, for air, for medicine, and for ability to appreciate music, to enrich our lives and in wonder. Have mercy on us during this pandemic season and forgive us our wrongdoing for Jesus' sake, and protect each one of us from losing our faith and hope in this time, and to help us to be givers in our own capacity so we can be a blessing to many. Well, I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, so thank you everyone, and thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you,
Thomas,
Yabi.
for
It's been
today.
great.
Yes,
Right.
okay. So that will be all from us. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.